Okay, now. I had it muted. Okay. All right.
Okay, now.
Yay.
I had it muted. Okay.
Oops, okay. My mic is very temperamental. Anyway, it's working. Yay. Okay. I had to settle Yoda. Sorry. He's Anyway, we won't get into it, but he's okay now. He's settled. You're alright, aren't you, sweetie? Okay. We're all good. So, weekly astrology chat. I haven't been on for 3 weeks, I think it is. Actually, how long? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I haven't been on for like 3 weeks or something. Because the eclipses, we're in the aftermath of the eclipses, but the eclipses hit me hard too. Like, yeah, actually, I did check this. I'm like, did I even check this out? Oh my god, Mercury retrograde. We're also in the middle of Mercury retrograde. We've just had eclipses. We've got Jupiter and Uranus conjunction building up. There's just so much astrology going on at the moment. We've got Saturn and Mars conjunction we've just had. We've got I think it's a Pluto-Mars square coming up. You right, sweetie? And then, like in a month and a bit, then Uranus after the Jupiter conjunction will finish in Taurus, and then Jupiter will move into Gemini. So that will be interesting. Jupiter in a new sign. Jupiter stays in a sign about a year in each sign. Jupiter does its cycle transit like in a 13-year transit. So it's like just over 13 months or something in each sign, something like that. So we haven't had the Jupiter Uranus conjunction for 13 years. So astrology can be so accurate with predictions because we can look back at history and we can see when the same transits or similar happened before and what came about, what happened. And then we can see what possibilities of what could happen. And like, not everything is exact and determined. There's obviously free will, and there's also astrology is, it can be we're describing something, and when you describe something, sometimes it takes many things, and it might not be all of those things, but maybe one of those things or some of those things. So like we can say, like a house, for example, the planet is transiting a certain house, like the third house. Then anytime there's a planet transiting that third house topics could be numerous things, and we can't always. Sometimes we can pinpoint exactly because there's multiple signs saying what's going to happen, like examples of similar pattern things or whatever. But sometimes it's still hard to say exactly what the exact situation or scenario might be, more just the themes of things. So it could be that there's going to be a conversation or some kind of communication or an email or a thought or an idea or a spark of an idea or something. Or there's something with siblings, it could be, or something in your local neighborhood, or something to do with short distance travel, or something to do with like early learning or short courses, or sharing of information and stuff like that. So their social media and marketing and stuff like that, their third house theme. So it could be anything in one of those things. It's just quite a vast range of topics, but it also can depend on what sign it's in. That can give some more information. So if it was in like an air sign, then you can be definitely sure that it's going to be some kind of communication or information that's coming through, or thought and idea or something like that. Or if it's like Venus, then we know it's going to be surrounding those Venus themes around like love and relationships, or money and resources and finance, or our values and our attraction and stuff like that. So yeah, astrology, it can be very vast, but obviously it can be very accurate too when we can look at multiple things and pinpoint things. Like especially when we're doing readings, looking at charts, if we can see something is 3 times, then we know for sure definitely that it's going to come about. Okay, so so let's just start off. I explained that I haven't been on for a couple of weeks because the eclipses hit me pretty hard. So I'll talk about where we've come from before I talk about what's coming up and where we're going, so we can get an idea of the energy, because things don't just happen and come and go in like that. Maybe faster moving planets, but when we're talking about these slower moving transits, the energies are playing out for a bit longer, and they build up and then they play out and then they fade off. So, yeah. So we are. All right. So let's look at what's happened the last few weeks, since I haven't been on for 3 weeks. But I did do a lot of pre-warning in the weeks before I disappeared for a couple of weeks, because I warned you about all the transits that were coming, basically. So the fact that I wasn't on, if you'd been following me and watching my videos, you should have been like, okay, there's all this crazy shit going on. She did warn us and plan and not predict, but did warn us and tell us about all these transits that were coming up. So it's like, obviously, it's going to be affecting her, me. It's going to affect everyone in some way, because it's all happening in some area of your life, depending on your chart and where certain energies are. And you can see now, we look at this chart right here. This is now. You can see most of the planets are all segregated. Not segregated, is that? That's not together, is it? All the planets are together and condensed and all hanging out in one area pretty much. So look, you can see they're all together in this chart. The only thing on the opposite side is the south node, and that's a calculated point between the sun and the moon. So you can't really count that as a planet necessarily, because it's always going to be that opposition, the north and the south node axis. So really everything is on the other side, because you've got Pluto over here that's on the other side. The moon's there on the other side. Even the moon's a fast moving transit anyway, changing signs every 2.5 days. So over 15 days, it's going to be in one half. Over the other 14 days, it's going to be in one half of the chart, and over the other 14, it's going to be in the other half. So, but yeah, you can see that everything's in one half of the chart. So there's the universe is specifically pointing all this energy to one spot and saying, hey, focus your energy here. This is important. Pay attention. This is what's going on. This is what you need to focus on. This is what I'm highlighting. This is the attention I need you to be focused on. This is what I'm bringing up to the surface. This is what's going on. So yeah, how much more can the universe be saying to us? Hey, hello, this is the energy right now. This is what you need to focus on. This is what's going on. This is yeah, it's telling us. So, see what Yosh is looking at. So yeah, okay. We'll get back to that. I can just rant for ages about astrology. I can talk for hours and hours. Anyone who regularly listens or follows me knows that. Okay, so I'm going to sleep, my baby. All right, so where we've come from. All right, so the 25th of March, we had a lunar eclipse. Full moon. I just had to think. Full moon lunar eclipse in Libra. And that's where the south node is. So the south node, when the south node is at a certain amount of degrees, so say within 10 degrees, I would like to say, it's all different, everyone does it differently and whatever, but within 10 degrees, then I would say you're in eclipse energy. And so we've just had a lunar eclipse on the 25th of March. 2 weeks following, so eclipses come in pairs or sometimes threes. And we have sometimes a solar and a lunar, sometimes a lunar, then a solar. But I won't say usually, because not always, but it's great when it's I want to say usually because I want it to be, it's great when it's that way. It's great when it's the lunar first and then the solar, because we're releasing and letting go and allowing the energy to bring something in. When it's the other way around, which it was last year at one of the more than one, if not one, I just remember where we had the solar eclipse first, where we're attracting and bringing something in, but we hadn't had the lunar eclipse to clear anything out first, so we couldn't fully bring that energy in without doing the clearing out first. So we had to wait 2 weeks for that new energy to bring stuff into our life. So eclipses are eclipsing things into our life because we hadn't done the clearing out yet. So it's great when you have the lunar first, so you can do the purging and the clearing out from the lunar eclipse, and then when the solar eclipse energy comes around, you're ready to accept and have something eclipsed into your life. There's space and energies there to do it. So that's what eclipses are. Eclipses are fated. They're fate train, as my teacher and a lot of astrologers would say. it's fate train time. It's about us fated energy. So we're being pushed towards our destiny, towards our future, towards what we're here to evolve to. And the south node, the opposite. So when we have that lunar eclipse, the releasing and letting go is the south node. It's our past. It's about releasing and letting go. It's what's no longer serving us. It's where we've come into this life with our comfort, already knowing, already mastered. Now we need to use those skills to get towards our north node, but we need to release and let go at the same time and not get stuck in that old comfort zone. But at the same time, have that balance and harmony of using those skills and that knowledge to go forward towards our north node without going too head first. Because the thing with the north node is that we're going towards our future, towards our destiny. It's fated and all that, but it can be where we just go all hard out towards our north node, and it's the dragon's head, and it doesn't have the tail like the south node is the tail, and towards body or whatever. But it's just the head, and the head has no body basically, and it's just going after what it wants, and it doesn't care. It's cutthroat. It doesn't care who it hurts in a way or who it harms, and not just because it's in Aries at the moment. This is just the north node energy in general. But being in Aries makes it even more so when harsh, because of the harsh Aries energy, which is cutthroat and my way or the highway. I'll go after what I want. I'll do whatever I want. I don't care if I hurt anyone. I don't care if I step on anyone's toes or whatever. It can be obsessive and like, I have to have this. I have to do this. I have to achieve this. I have to get to this north node point. Tiring, right? So, so we have to take it easy when we're focusing on the north node, but still use that energy to propel forward towards it, but be conscious and use that conscious energy of the south node and the knowledge to move towards that north node. So the north node is what was I going to say? So that letting go. So that's what we had. We had on the 25th, that releasing and that letting go energy. Oh yes, talking about eclipses. Sorry, eclipses. I was going to actually say something else about eclipses. Obsessive and all that, and then I think I said enough. Okay, so that south node, the 25th, releasing and letting go. So wherever Libra is in your chart, depending on what area of your life, like for example, say Libra is your first house, your rising sign, then you're releasing a part of yourself, letting go of part of yourself. An old part of yourself needs to where you are, and it's because it's the first house. It's who you are, what you're about. It's partly like your personality in that, but it's also the way you project your energy into the world, the way people see you. It can be your appearance and your body and stuff like that. So you're releasing and letting go something there. So it could be like the way you used to dress, the way you used to present yourself. It could be the way you were, like your attitude to the world, like the way you approach the world could be changing. It could be your brand and your image in some way changing, or something where you're releasing, letting go of something that doesn't suit you anymore, and you want to go to something new that's more in alignment with who you are now and where you want to go and who you want to identify as and what you want to be. So and it's the themes of people-pleasing behavior, where we sit on the fence, where we don't speak up, because we're trying to keep the peace. We're trying to make sure everyone else is happy first, so that then we'll be happy if everyone else is happy. But then it doesn't ever get to that point, because you can't please and make other people happy. You need to just look after your own happiness and make yourself happy first. It all comes back to that sort of thing. So it's about us releasing people-pleasing behavior, the fence sitting, the need to always be in relationship and to rely to have others, and to codependency and stuff like that, releasing of that, and where we can't make decisions, we're indecisive, and we focus on the other too much, and focus on what everybody else thinks and what the other person is thinking and what the other person is doing, whatever, instead of the north node, which is the opposite, which is now what we've had, the solar eclipse. So the north node being about going towards our destiny and our future and all that, and what we're moving towards and all of that stuff. And then it's in the sign of Aries, which is about new beginnings. It's about taking action, going after things. It's about being courageous, and not like Leo courageous, but being like adventurous and like confident, and being the leader, and being able to like step up and be the warrior and stand up for yourself and other people and stuff like that. But it's always in making sure that you're always looking after yourself first. Like the warrior can't fight if he's wounded, so he needs to make sure that he's strong and that he's able to lead the way, and then everyone else he can help after that. That sort of thing. Like, I guess that's the Libra theme, is like, you have to, you might put everyone else's mask, try and put everyone else's mask on an emergency first, but then you're all gone. You can't do that. You need to look after yourself so then you can look after other people. It's just like a mother sort of thing. Like, a mother really needs to look after herself and give herself that time and care. I know it's hard, especially I'm not, unless you're a mum, you don't understand. Hello, Senpai, Sayan, how are you? But yeah, it's like looking after yourself first so that you can then pass on and help others with that energy, because you're strong and resilient enough that you can share your energy around. You're not depleted and stuff like that from too much giving, as well. Which can be like people pleasing, always trying to please by like trying to do the right thing or help others, which is that south node we're letting go of. Moving towards the north node, so also towards more Aries things of like so I'm trying not to talk on a collective level, talk more personally. But again, it's going to be, like I said, like standing up for what we believe in, standing up for ourselves. So maybe we have been, like I said, sitting on the fence and trying to please and keep the peace with everyone, instead of like standing up for what we believe in, going after what we want, doing what we want, what's going to make us happy. But again, making sure we're not doing it from a point where we're obsessive and we're cutthroat and we don't care if we hurt anyone else or anything else. We can cut ties and stuff like that. We don't want to do any of that. We want to be so we want to be compassionate and understanding and kind, which is not Aries things. So why am I saying that? Why would I say all these non-Aries things like that and expect that energy to come out? Because we have to also look at the rulers. So the ruler of Aries is Mars. So the North Node has another planet ruling its energy because it's visiting that sign. So North Node being in Aries, the ruler is Mars. So Mars is ruling that energy sign. So the North Node is under Mars's rulership. So Mars is in Pisces. So Mars is not in its home sign at all. Mars is in a watery sign. Mars is a fire sign, and Mars is in a watery sign. So it's not a nice place for Mars to be. It's not happy in that place. So Venus is exalted in Pisces. So Mars being the opposite is not happy in Venus's exalted sign like that. So Mars in Pisces. So we're going to need to be compassionate. We need to go with the flow. So we need to be taking action. We need to be being in that leadership energy. We need to be being strong. We need to be being, resilient. We need to be being standing up for ourselves and, being the warrior and taking action and starting new things and doing all these things. But we need to do it with this perspective of Pisces energy, which is being compassionate, going with the flow, having a intuitive view or vision, like tapping into that intuitive other realmy sort of space and energy. So it's like tapping into like fantasy and our dreams. So it's good in a sense of like if we're following our dreams and our desires, because Mars is our desires and our dreams, our desires around our dreams, around what our higher self wants, not what we want to so much on an ego level like that Mars energy, but if we're looking at what our higher self wants, what's good for our spiritual self, what's good for us on a not psychological, but like a mental health level in a sense, and like for our spiritual health and stuff like that, what's good for us, and like what's like, okay, because we're talking about Mars too, so like how I said about the obsessive and like my way or the highway and going after what I want and being cutthroat and all that. But with that Pisces energy, we want to, what was I going to say? What's my thought? The compassion and all that. And we want to make sure that we're not self-sabotaging, because that's where the ruler is. Mars is in that Pisces energy. we can be self-sabotage. If we turn into that energy, then we come out with the more negative qualities of that Pisces energy, where the Mars is, where it's not comfortable to Mars in that watery sign with all those emotions and feelings of that Pisces energy, that sensitivity being self-sabotaging. Pisces energy, sorry, themes I'm trying to think of. Being self-sabotaging, being deceptive, being like not clear with our intentions, even like with all this Libra energy and the Mars and all that Pisces and that going on, it's like having false intentions, yeah, and like leading people on. That could be another thing, and like, yeah, that's the sort of thing we have to like be careful of. So others doing that to us too, but us also tapping into that energy too, because that's where the ruler is. So yeah, us leading other people on, or us being not upfront about our intentions, our true intentions and stuff like that, or being too over idealistic, or seeing things with rose-colored glasses, not seeing things clearly. I'm not paying attention to the details too, and just like being real wishy-washy, and being too optimistic and thinking that everything's going to work out without having to put like the effort and the hard work in and stuff like that. And because we just had Mars and Saturn conjunct too, you can see here that Mars is moving away. I need to chart up. Mars is moving. I had OBS up, so you couldn't see my mouse. So I was looking at the chart, but I was looking at it on OBS. Mars and Saturn. So Mars is pulling away, moving out of that conjunction now, 15 degrees from the last few days. So we're still in that energy, but yeah, so Mars is pulling away. So it's like, you know, thinking that, you know, you're going to have to manifest everything and be able to get everything you want and all that without having to put any effort, hard work and energy, and thinking that the universe will just, spirituality, the universe will just provide it, or God will just like, you know, give me what I need, or present to me what I want, or, you know, show me the path without me having to, like, you can get shown the path and all that, but you still have to put the work and effort in, which is Saturn there. Saturn in Pisces is, you know, showing us where we are restricted by our dreams and our thoughts and our idea, like our fantasies and stuff like that, where the reality needs to come. So it's like, we can dream all these things, but what is actually reality? What can we actually make physical and bring into this world and tangible, and produce something from, and like build something from? That's what that Saturn energy wants. It wants us to commit to something and build something and be able to like tangibly, physically, you know, make something out of it. And we're talking about Pisces, watery, flowy energy that is like off with the ethers and is like, you can't touch it almost. It's other realms. So it's like, how do we do that? So it's like, you know, us being shown, well, like Saturn is a 7-year transit. So while that's 2.5-year transit. So that 2.5 years while it's in a sign, Saturn is, so every 7 years you have a square with Saturn. That's what I was thinking, 7 years. Every 2.5 years is Saturn's in each sign. So that 2.5 years, you're learning the tough lessons of that sign and the restrictions of that sign and the responsibility that comes with that sign, and what you are required to do to withhold integrity with that sign, and what you're here to build and bring structure to and commit to and put a lot of responsibility and energy and work and effort into. So at the moment, that's Pisces thing. So that's, you know, putting us having to, you know, we've got another whole, I'd say, you can see Mars is halfway through Pisces. So I'd say we've got another like year and a half of Pisces still, Saturn in that Pisces still, until it moves into Aries. And so we've still got a lot of time to focus on those things, and it's to do with those Pisces energies of our spirituality, you know, getting in touch with God, the universe, our higher self, having that connection with, you know, our true selves, our soul or whatever. And then also, you know, getting more serious and committing to things of a spiritual nature, and also getting committed and serious about our dreams and what we possibly can like connect into and bring into the, you know, tangibly bring into the world and stuff, through our thoughts and ideas, our what, you know, our higher self, the things that we channel and come through. or what, is God is relaying messages to us, or the universe, or angels, or guides, or whatever you want to say. Basically, that's that 12th, Pisces energy, or 12th house stuff. So, integrity. Yeah, God, integrity. Oh my God. Oh yes, I did realize that the other day. I saw you streaming, but I was busy and I couldn't come in. But I realized I worked it out. Why did you change your name? Oh, no one could read the old one. I love cryptic names like that. When like someone has a name and then you try and read it and then they you don't know it at first and then they tell you and then you see it and after that you just can't unsee it. I love that. I love that so much. I loved that name. I love that name. I'm gonna steal it then. Not really, but I loved that name. What's Arduous Knox? What's that mean? How are you anyway? It was fun for a while until people referring to me as not my name. What? Black cat. Arduous means labouring task. Knox is a hill. Okay. People referring to me as not my name. Oh, you mean like they didn't calling just random things because they couldn't work out black cat. Oh, and symbolic of the climb through life, reminiscent of the dark night of soul. Oh, okay, that's nice then. Okay, yeah, sweet. What is that, like in Greek or something like that? My preview is blurry, so I hope I'm not actually blurry and it's just my internet showing me on Twitch or whatever. I can't remember, to be honest. Someone else told me about the night part. Oh, okay, it was just coincidence. Okay, cool. Well, I still like Black Cat, but whatever you are happy with. That's a nice name. Now I know what it means. Yeah, how you going? I have seen you streaming a little bit lately, but I've been pretty busy last week. Yeah. 2 weeks. The eclipses have hit me, let's just say that. I've been hit hard. They hit all the planets and transits are hitting everything. I have a lot of Aries energy, and as I said, you can see right now in the chart, everything's focused in one particular area right now. The universe is pointing to us, trying us to focus on certain specific things at the moment, with the energies all in one place, all the planetary energies in one spot. So yeah, I have a lot of planets in Taurus, not in Taurus, a lot in Taurus. I have a lot of planets in Aries. And then my sun is also in Taurus at 23 degrees, so it's getting hit by that Uranus. I've been decent. Busy happens. Yeah, not just busy, just like lots of things going on. So. Yeah, so we have to take into account all that Pisces energy. So, as I said, what Saturn is doing there for its 2.5 year transit, another year and a half there. Gosh, I get so thirsty talking. Yeah, so yeah, that Pisces energy. So any like Pisces themes, Pisces energy again. So Saturn's teaching us the lessons of Saturn always wants us to grow up. So wants the Pisces energy to grow up, basically. So go from being the immature, self-sabotaging, leaning towards like drugs and alcohol, or any kind of like coping mechanisms like that, escapism tendencies, that sort of thing. And focus on like our spirituality and our psychological health and our mental health and stuff like that, and having good routines. Saturn loves routines, like having structure and routines that support us to help us to, commit to and grow and build on those practices that keep us in good mental health over the next 20 years until it returns back. 20 to 30 years. 20 years, yeah. When it returns back and it's a 30-year cycle, Saturn. And it returns back. I don't know why I think about 20. when I was thinking about the Saturn-Pluto conjunction was the next 20 years what we were setting up for, and I'm always tied back to that energy. So yeah, the 30 years what we're going to be building and working on for the next 30 years. I started reading the Golden Dawn book I bought a while back, the original accounts of the Hermetic Order. Oh wow, cool. Let yourself indicated neophyte. Oh, I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's cool if it's something in that and to do with that. I'm not very good with like mythological stuff or any of that sort of thing. I wish I was, and I need to I would love to spend more time learning one day. It's the first rank. Okay. I see, yeah. Oh wow, okay, yeah. Interesting. I like. Yeah, so as I was saying, I've been hit very hard with all this energy lately because I have Jupiter at 17 degrees of Aries. I've got Venus at 27 degrees of Aries. 27. Yeah, 27 degrees of Aries. I've got my North Node at 10 degrees. My what else? And then I've got, obviously my Sun at 23 degrees. It's all being hit. And then not only that, but then I've also got planets in Sag and Virgo, which is all being squared and opposed by that Pisces energy. So, right. Oh, look, here we go. Speaking of it right now, we've got Mars squaring my moon at 17 degrees. My moon's at 16 degrees. 14, 16. I always think it's 14. I don't know why it's 16. So, yeah, Mars has just in the last day or two been squaring my moon. No wonder I've been feeling the way I have been. Mars moon squares. Not nice. I see now. Okay. What are these planets saying? Don't even ask me. No, that's what I'm talking about. But they're saying Aries and Pisces. Look at all the energy there. It wants us to focus on that. That's what the charts are telling. Skies, the planets, the energy, the universe, whatever is telling us to focus on Aries energy. So yeah, so that's the eclipses. So that's where we've come from. That's what we've done over the last 3 weeks now. We've just had the 2 eclipses. We had 25th of March, then on the 8th of April, 9th of April, depending where you are in the world, we've had that solar eclipse, which I just talked about, the North Node in Aries. New beginnings, fresh starts, refresh, restart, new beginnings, new opportunities, planting seeds around those Aries North Node themes of our destiny and future, what we're moving towards in regards to us and our identity and who we are. And the other thing too is what we haven't got more into now is that North Node and that the eclipse was at 19 degrees exact, which is on top of Chiron. Chiron is in Aries, so Chiron is going through a 7-year. I think Chiron is a 7-year transit. I think through 7 years. Through Aries and Chiron through Aries, and that is helping us to heal our wounds, but bringing up our wounds. Our wounds are being triggered in Aries around, and now we've just been triggered with this solar eclipse. So over the next 6 months, these eclipse energies play out until those next eclipses come. And eclipses happen every 6 months. So over the next 6 months, this energy is going to play out that we've just had with this eclipse in Aries, and conjunct the North Node, the Sun, but conjunct Chiron, which is all about us healing our wounds, our vulnerabilities around our identity, around us being individual, being our unique individual selves, us being not afraid to take action and go after what we want, what we think we need and deserve, what we desire, not being shy about our desires, but being upfront and being strong and confident in them and proud of them, and being able to take action and go after them basically, and not be held back by indecisive or by other people's worries or thoughts that are opinions, or worried about hurting anyone else or stepping on anyone else's toes, but still making sure that don't do it obsessively and be cutthroat and all that, because there'll always be consequences. As if I didn't feel old as shit already. Oh, they told me I turned 39 last week. Oh, great. Yeah, it's all right. I'm 30. Happy birthday for last week. I'm 30. Think about what time. 7 next month. In a month and a day. So, yep, I hear. Sorry for swearing. Don't read these out loud. Oh, I always swear, so I'm going to read it out. And shit isn't swearing. God damn, that's not a swear word. So, I mean, my brother might say otherwise because I'm always swearing in front of my niece, but, she's going to hear the words one day from someone, isn't she? I mean, it's not good if she says the words, though, is it? And they copy everything when they're young. I know. Okay. So, Chiron. So wounds around identity, around us being our unique individual selves, about us going after what we want, what we desire, what is good for us, what we're feeling drawn for energy to go towards, where we're feeling fiery and passionate towards. And it's around, like I said, identity, around us being an individual, about us being able to do things alone and not feeling like we have to have others or do things with others all the time. Not that we want to cut everyone off, but knowing that we can be an individual and we can support ourselves and we can, make our own decisions and do things, and they will work out, and we will be able to achieve things and whatever else. So, that's that Chiron energy. And it can be wounds around, so I said, our identity and who we are, around our appearance. Aries rules the head too, so it's like the way we look, our appearance, the way we present ourselves, when we're talking about that too, that Aries energy. It can be, around our identity, all of that. Our ego, so like that's where the wounds of our ego can come up. So like where we're being too egotistic about certain things, or so sure or certain, or my way or the highway, we can be triggered there with that energy, so that we're like humbled a bit or whatever, or like, we work on healing that so that we come into more balance and we're like leading from heart, passionate energy, not leading from like angry Aries energy. Because there's two different sides of it, There's the passionate side that's excited and passionate and wanting to lead the way and take action and really excited and all those things, and wants to create and all that good energy. And then there's a side that's like driven by anger and war and my way or the highway, and I want to get what I want no matter what, and being cutthroat and all that. So there's a different energy of Aries that we can tap into, but we want to tap into the side of being, like I said, being confident in a sense, and being able to step into our power, step into our, just take action and be direct and go after what we want and all that. And also, there was something else what I was going to say. And I can't remember, lost it. Anyway, mental health, Chiron on the head. It could be, I guess, because it's the head. It can be anything like that too, anything to do with the head for sure. Maybe like head injuries too, head accidents and stuff like that. Because we're talking about the ruler being in Neptune, close to Neptune. The ruler is going to be with Neptune soon, but because the ruler is in Pisces, yes, I would say mental health. And I probably was talking about mental health just before you got in here. But yeah, mental health is a big thing. So us taking action on having better spiritual practices and good routines and stuff like that, so that we have better mental health. That's what that Mars and that Saturn in there is wanting us to do. And it's the ruler of the all that Aries energy. So the ruler of all those planets right now is in Pisces. So it's definitely about those sorts of things with that as well. What was I going to say about Chiron? It's like healing wounds around like the appearance, how we look and all that stuff too. And so we have Mercury in retrograde too. So this means so many transits and so many things going on at the moment. So we have Mercury in retrograde. Mercury is retrograding through Aries. So Mercury is there at 20 degrees. So Mercury is about to hit Chiron, and it's going to hit Chiron 3 times. So Mercury's going to go over Chiron, then so it's already gone over Chiron, going over Chiron now, sorry. And then Mercury's going to go back over Chiron and then back forward again. So Mercury's just past Chiron. It's going, oh, it's not, it's just past, sorry. It's coming, sorry, it's already past Chiron when it's gone forward. Now it's in retrograde, it's going back over Chiron. And then it's going to, when Mercury goes forward, it's going to go back over Chiron again. So Chiron's being triggered by Mercury as well. And that's bringing up our wounds with those things are being communicated to us. So people could be bringing up or triggering those wounds for us, speaking about them, talking about them, having conversations about them. Or we could be, that's where we need to work on our mind and our mindset when we're talking about Mercury, our thoughts, our ideas, our communication. So those sorts of things can be coming up about how we talk and we communicate. Like, are we being attacking with our communication? Are we being defensive? Are we being hilarious? Are we being aggressive with our communication, our speaking, and that? Are we being harsh? Are we, just saying what we want and not worrying about other people's feelings and just thinking about ourselves and being selfish and stuff like that? So all those sorts of things can come up with Mercury too. Spam. Spammy, spam. There we go. To shadow work or not to do shadow work, the ego, you said. Well, I think if we're talking about Neptune energy and Pisces, with them being there, the rulers there in Pisces. It's like healing things around like our spiritual self, our connection with God, the universe, our higher self, healing that connection with ourselves so that we don't self-sabotage. We can tune into ourselves and we know the answers, or we can channel the answers, get the information we need, or we have that faith that the universe or God, whoever is guiding us, so that we don't self-sabotage, we don't get off track and lose ourselves, because that energy is always about losing ourselves, self-sabotaging, or trying to escape or self-soothe and stuff like that. We want to avoid all those sorts of things. So if you mean shadow behavior in that sense of those things, then yeah, definitely. So Mercury's in retrograde at the moment. Mercury is let's move the chart so that we can follow along. Oh, it didn't change. Oops, that background. Change that one. Okay, doesn't matter. All right. So let me just make sure OBS is on the right page. No. All right, we need animated. Okay. I'll move my mouse around now. Let me see. Nope. Oh, there we go. Yep. Okay, sweet. So, Mercury is, so if we go, going back a few days, so you can see, so Mercury passed over Chiron firstly 21st of March. So we could have had those wounds being triggered around the 21st of March by around, our speech and communication, our thoughts, our ideas, our contracts to do with other people and stuff like that, or contracts and agreements and stuff like that. Anything to do with like media and advertising, that sort of thing, that sort of stuff, maybe, possibly. So Mercury and Chiron, the wounds around us, like I said, us being harsh in our communication, us being defensive, us being cutthroat and all those sorts of things, or us being in our heads too much about our appearance and how we look and what other people perceive of us and think of us and stuff like that. So all those sorts of things and those wounds being triggered by that. So then Chiron passed over, Mercury passed over Chiron and triggered that. Then Mercury continued on its path through Aries. And then at 27 degrees, Mercury stations and decides to go back over old business, go back over anything it's forgotten, anything it's missed, any information, any communication, thoughts, ideas, conversations that it should have had that it didn't, going back. So Mercury retrograde is always to go back and get some information that we missed. So it's always something will come through, some more information, a conversation, an idea, a breakthrough, what's the word? Closing. Closing's not the right word. People from the past can come back. So like relationships come back and you can get a closing. What's it called? I can't think of the friggin' word. When you can like let go. You've had the conversation and the last words and thoughts. And now you can finally release. There was like something that needed to be said or triggered or brought up or I can't think of the word. Anyway, so yeah, this is the sort of thing that Mercury retrograde is going back over. Something we missed, some information, a piece of the puzzle, whatever it is. So on the 1st of April, Mercury decided to. So Mercury's transit happens 3 to 4 times a year. We've got 3 this year. We've got Mercury is a 2 weeks shadow. So 2 weeks where it goes over, 3 weeks where it's in retrograde, going through the retrograde, and another 2 weeks where it's going back over the shadow period. So where it's like passing back and forth in the shadow over the past that's already been over or whatever. The shadow period is where it's going to pass back over. Sorry. The shadow period is 2 weeks before it stations. So 2 weeks before the 1st of April. So we go back, and that's when the energy is triggering, because now we're going to go back over that old ground. So if we go forward, we'll start to move backwards now. So we're going back over where we were the last 2 weeks for 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, it's going to go back and forth and then come out. So we're going back now. So we got up to the 10th of April. So we were at the 1st of April. Keep going. Mercury's still going back, going all the way back to, I think it's 15 degrees with the North Node. So Mercury went over the North Node. Oops, I went too far. Sorry. Hang on. Station. So Mercury went over the North Node, our destiny, our future, what we're headed towards. And Mercury's communication, conversations, contracts, ideas. So, something was initiated, but something needs to be revised, rethought. So Mercury, rethink, revise, review, reevaluate, redo, re-sign, rethink, whatever it is, re. Something needs to be redone or re-seen, reviewed, whatever it is that the North Node and Mercury were agreeing, coming into conclusion about, whatever. So let me quickly go back to when that was. So hey, sweetie. My mouse isn't upsetting you. So the 19th of March. So the 19th of March, if something was significant was happening in your life that was to do with your destiny, your future, where you want to go towards, what you're heading towards, and there was some kind of communication, conversation, thought, idea, contract, something that come through about it then, but maybe nothing moved ahead on it, or it didn't take off fully, or there's something that needs to be changed or reevaluated, reviewed, and all that. So Mercury now is going to go back to that point to fix that, basically. Mercury's fixer. It likes to fix things. It likes to give the information and the stuff, and it helps to review it, fix it, whatever. It's always backtracking so much because it's got to go back and fix things. So hey, sweetie, you're right. So if we go back forward to where we were, so I said the first is when it decides to station and go back. And then, so yeah, so it's funny that if we look, Mercury only goes, my point of that and to bring that up is that Mercury only goes back 215 degrees to the North Node. So it's gone back exactly just to the North Node's degree, where the North Node is. So it didn't go back 1 degree before, 1 degree after. It went back to the North Node. So there's something that happened from that date, so the 19th of March, might have been 18th in your time in the world if you're on the other side of the world or whatever, but something that happened around that date, significant about our destiny, about our future, that's to propel us forward in some way, a conversation, a communication, a thought, an idea. And there's some more information we need to get, or we need to rethink or redo, or maybe we, signed an agreement or a contract or agreed to something, and there's something's changed, some situation or some circumstances have changed, and we need to rethink, redo, reevaluate that now, or we weren't clear in our head at the time. We didn't make the right decision for some reason. So that's the opportunity now for that. Or the piece of information or an idea or something that's forgotten, some more information can come through or something like that. So, so that's the 26th of April. So that's 2 weeks time. 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks. So about 10 days or something like that. And 12 days. Yeah, about 12 days. Sorry, that is going to play out. So there could be something significant around the 26th, 27th, no, 25th, 26th, depending where you are in the world. I don't know, 26th of April, around now. Something significant that comes up. Then Mercury will move forward and pass back over Chiron. So it'll trigger those wounds again with some conversations, communications, some kind of idea, thought, something that comes through. It could be more from a healing. It's moving forward now, so more from a healing point of view. So it's whether that's information, message, communication, thought, idea comes through, but it's to help us to heal, then to move forward and know that whatever decision or whatever we're moving forward with is correct and right now. It's been worked out. And then it was 26 degrees or something like that, wasn't it, when Mercury went? I think it was around that. So around maybe the 13th, 14th, 15th, something like that of May. I think it was 16th of May. No, I don't think it was quite there. Anyway, yeah, so around the end of May then. Oh, no, sorry. Not middle of May, sorry. Mercury will move out of that shadow. Mercury will have gone direct, but we'll be out of that shadow energy, and everything will be much clearer. So even when Mercury turns direct, we should be able to start to see what we need to move forward with those Mercury themes. Which is around the 26th of April, 27th of April, things will be much clearer. The information, the communication, the message, the idea, or whatever it is would have come through, which then helps us to heal, have those healing conversations or whatever. And then okay, so that is Mercury's transit over the next few weeks. the Mercury move on into Taurus and eventually meet up with Uranus. Interesting. That is going to be quite interesting. Mercury and Uranus. So Uranus is the high octave of Mercury. Mercury rules our like, you want to get down, sweetie? Our like basic human level communication in a sense. And and go under there, sweetie. And then right, can you get under okay? And then Uranus is the higher communication, thoughts, ideas. So it's like coming from other realms. I think there's a bit of food left on that plate. Hopefully I can get it. Yeah, so yes, I'm saying so and so much. I'm not going to say either of those words right now. Mercury now. Oh my gosh, my terrible mic. I need to get electrical tape, duct tape, electrical tape, and thank you, and tape up my mic because I always knock the cable and then it comes out. It's terrible. Yeah, because I unplugged it and plugged it back in. It's ridiculous. Thank you. Yeah, so that'll be an interesting day around the 1st of June, 31st of May, 1st of June, because Uranus is the high octave of Mercury. Mercury and Uranus coming together. They rule communication. So Mercury is like low-level grade communication, and then Uranus is like higher realms, information, communication coming from like the ethers in a sense, from like to evolve us in some way, whereas communication with Mercury is more like on a human mundane level sort of thing. So yes, those two coming together will be very interesting to do with like technology. So maybe some huge big ideas or information comes out about technological advancements or something to do with the financial system and to do with like resources and stuff like that. Like something big will come out with those two in the media or some kind of message or communication or information. Something big will come out on that date to do with the economy probably or technology or resources, finances, money, something like that for sure. So back to on a personal level. So let's go back now to where we are. So today is the 14th of April. Okay, so back to where we are. All right, so the we talked about everything being on one side of the chart. The big focus is that Aries energy. So we've talked about Mercury retrograde that's going on. We've got a Mars-Pluto square coming up, but that's not going to be at least for another 2 weeks, I would say. So that's okay. So Uranus, I'm just trying to see what's next to come up. So, all right, let me just go forward a day. Mercury. We talked about Mercury, so don't worry about that now. Uranus and Jupiter are getting closer. So you can see Jupiter's at 20 degrees, Uranus 21. So 3 degrees, anything within 3 degrees either side is going to be starting to really feel that energy intensely. So we would have been feeling it already for sure, being that these slow moving planets, but we're really going to feel it when they're like 1 to 2 degrees, especially 1 degree, and then even closer. Like it's going to be really intense, these two coming together. So we've got two big planets. So we've got Uranus, which is the revolutionary planet. It's evolving us. It is the rebellion. It wants us to break free. It shakes and stirs things up. So it can bring like earthquakes, and we're talking about Taurus and the sign of Earth. I'm talking about the sign of earthquakes because it shakes and stirs things up. So it can bring and Jupiter expands things, makes things bigger, overdoes things. So we could be having earthquakes around. Like we've already seen some. We could get more or bigger ones happening over the next couple of weeks as these two come together and even as they start to part, I guess. So yeah, that's a big thing. And it also rules electricity. Uranus is like electricity. It's frequency. So something to do with like frequencies and energy and electricity, and it could be something to do with like technology and ideas that's revolutionary in some way, and that helps us to grow and expand in some way or bring some kind of wealth and abundance and financial resources and money in some way, being Taurus energy too. So it's like something to do with resources, maybe to do with money, to do with finances, to do with the financial system. Like there's something big that's going to happen with Uranus and Taurus to do with those things. So money, finance, financial system, to do with our resources, to do with our skills and abilities is going to become a big thing. It's like all of a sudden, in a unexpected way, we're going to have to use our skills and abilities in some way. Our skills and abilities are going to be important in some way. The wisdom that we have gained from skills and abilities, or something like that, where we can use our wisdom that we have from using those skills and abilities in some way, in some unexpected, unique way that helps us to get out of our comfort zones, to get unstuck and get shaken and taken out of things that are, holding us back or keeping us stuck and that aren't evolving us, basically. If we go, so we're going to be definitely feeling that intensity building up there. So wherever Taurus is in your chart, and if you have any planets around that 21 degrees, or anything in the fixed signs, so anything in Leo, anything in Aquarius, anything in Scorpio, around the 20, 21, 22 degrees. My sun's at 23 degrees, even 23 degrees. 20, 21, 22, 23 degrees, 19 degrees maybe, around that. Anything around that in any of those fixed signs, or anything in any of the earth signs. So Taurus, obviously, it's going to be conjunct Capricorn or Virgo. Then you're going to be getting a nice trine from this energy, some helpful, positive opportunities or energy coming in that can help expand or grow you in some way. It might feel uncomfortable, but it's going to be in your best interest in the long run. So in those squares, that fixed sign coming from, if you have anything in Leo or Aquarius or Scorpio, then it's going to be a bit more intense for you. It's going to be more of a get out of your comfort zone. It's going to be get unstuck. It's going to be shocking, and it's going to be shake and stir things up, but it's going to be in more an intense way that it's always going to be unexpected, but not as in a more pleasant way, because it's something where you haven't taken any action, you haven't done anything, you haven't shifted things or moved the energy. So the universe is going to come in and do it for you. So it's going to feel uncomfortable. It might not be pleasant at first. It might be a bit chaotic or unsettling or something like that. But in the end, it's for your evolution, for your higher good in some way, to push you to learn and grow in some way. So, yeah. Whereas when you have the more trine, helpful energy, opportunity energy, it's like this energy is helping you in some way. It's not just shoving you out of it and stirring it up and unshaking, like pulling the rug from under your feet or whatever. It's like laying down a red carpet for you to walk along your path and follow the red yellow brick road or whatever. Like obvious, giving you a clear sign of where to go, or helpful energy, or where your path is, or whatever it is. It's like it's easy. You've done the work possibly, so it's like the reward comes through, or you're in the right vibrational frequency so that you can just attract to that more easily. I can't help but just like focus on that Taurus Uranus stuff, because Uranus Jupiter conjunction in Taurus, because I've like me and many other all astrologers, and like even astrologers from like 50 years ago. I mean maybe 100 years ago. I listened to a lot of history, and astrologers talk about different history and stuff like that. And like the last 10 years, the last 20 years, astrologers have talked about this conjunction, this Jupiter Uranus conjunction in Taurus. It's a big thing, especially the last few years. A lot of us, more mundane, basic astrologers or whatever, have, or newer even astrologers, like I've only been doing astrology for 10, 11, 12, 12, 11 or 12 years. It's like 12 years, 2012. Yeah, and like, yeah, it's like big. It's like I've been excited about it because, it's on my sun, well, close to my sun, so it's like exciting. Shake and stir things up and bring change to evolve us. And I'm happy with that. It might be a bit uncomfortable, but it's all for our highest good. So, okay. Sun on the 16th of April. So what? 16th of April, Tuesday. So the sun on this Monday, Tuesday, depending where you are in the world, sun will be hitting on my Venus around the 17th. Nice. So making sure I don't miss anything. I'm not focusing on that moon because it moves so fast. Like I said, it's in each sign for 2.5 days. So throughout the month, it goes through every sign, every 28 days. What was I looking at again? Oh yeah, so I went forward a day too much. She's very fast moving. She's on the move. Wow. Venus is on the move. So Venus on the 17th of April, so 16th, 17th, anywhere around the world. Oh my god, please don't tell me I hit my mic. Oh, check OBS. Hello? Okay, I think it's okay. God damn. I need to fix that, and I say it every time. Sorry. Okay, so Venus is conjuncting the North Node. So Venus will do this like, every year or whatever, basically. So, pardon me, I'm sorry. So Venus is coming together the North Node. So we said that North Node is about destiny, about our future. We just had this solar eclipse there, so she's going to be triggering that energy, especially when she gets to Chiron and where this actual solar eclipse was at 19 degrees a couple of days later. But yeah, Venus is about our values. It's about what we love, what we find pleasure in, what we find beauty in. It's about our money and resources, our love and relationships, all those things. So Venus is because it's what we love, what we find pleasure in. If you don't find pleasure in relationships, it won't be about relationships. You might just be about money. But it's what you find love and pleasure in, what you find beauty in, and where we indulge Venus. And coming together, the North Node is helping us to, have some kind of new beginning, new opportunity, a fresh start, a refresh around something to do with our future and our destiny, and those North Nodes, something destined, fated around those themes. So it could bring in some financial, something, towards something good financially for your future. Could bring in some like love or romance or indulgent or whatever Venus themes for you to do with like relationships. There could be a moment there could be something that comes through that's fated, that's to do with your future and towards your destiny. That's Venusian, so that's pleasurable. That is to do with finances and money, to do with your what you value, what you find valuable, what you find pleasurable, what you find beautiful. So that is really nice, depending where it's happening in your chart, where that Aries energy is. So then Venus, so that is 17th April. again, 16th, 17th, depending where you are in the world. So that's like around Tuesday night, Wednesday, whatever. Sorry, I'm just thinking about my week too. I've got a lot happening this week. So yeah, and then if we go for another day, so we'll feel that around then, and then for another day we'll feel it. Should be coming out of it now. And then the another day later, so 2 days later, the 19th of April, 18th, 19th, there we are. She'll be meeting with Mercury that's in retrograde. So remember what Mercury's doing in retrograde in Aries, about our identity, about who we are, what we're about, about our appearance, can be about what we're going after, our desires, can be about what we want, can be all those things. And so there's a conversation that is pleasurable, that brings some kind of beauty, some kind of love, some kind of pleasure, some kind of money or resources or something in from Mercury that is like a conversation about it, or an idea about those things. How you can make more money, or a new idea or initiative, because we're talking about conjunction new idea energy in the sign of Aries. So it's like someone giving you some information, an idea, or something about something that you can do or create or start, or something that helps you to take off and do something with, or initiate something with, or take action on in some way. It could be something that fires you up as well and forces, you gets you angry and aggressive and whatever, possibly. Not so much with that Venus energy there, because it seems like in Aries it could be, you never know, but it could be something that's more pleasurable, and if anything, it's like Venus getting feisty, or something like that. But I don't think it's like it's so harsh. It's like a bit calmed by that Venus energy. But Mercury, it could be some harsh communication from women. It's usually the moon that represents that, but from a relationship, or hard truth from a relationship, or from someone that you love or admire or whatever, possibly. But otherwise it's like, a really good idea or some information or conversation that is pleasurable, that is again helps you to create or take action on something, or helps you to go after your desires in some way. Be a contract or something, a new contract with women, or agreement or something like that too. Okay, then if we go day forward another day, Venus passes over that Mercury, and Venus will move towards Chiron. So another 2-3 days later, 22nd of April, which is then going into Monday. So in just over a week. We're going into the Monday then, where Venus will be conjunct Chiron, which is going to trigger those wounds definitely around our beauty and appearance, and if we think we're beautiful, or how beautiful we think we are, or if we feel self-worth and confident about ourselves, if we value ourselves and our beauty and what we look like and our body and all of that, and healing the wounds around all of that. So it's like maybe some pleasurable energy that comes through, or something that helps us to heal. It might trigger those wounds around those things, but ultimately to help us to heal them in some way. Wounds within relationships, around feeling like you have to be an individual and do everything alone, or where you're feeling constricted and stuck and not able to like be independent and go after what you want and what you need, what you desire. Because we're talking about Venus in Aries, and when we talk about Venus in Aries is Venus is fiery, and she's passionate, and she goes after what she wants and desires, and she doesn't care who gets in the way, or if it hurts anyone or whatever. She can be a bit cutthroat in that energy. So that those sorts of wounds can be playing out too. But she's also exciting and fun and passionate and driven, and like is really good at like starting new projects and getting them off the ground, and like having that fiery, passionate energy around her to take action and to go after things and all that. And yeah, it can be really fun and passionate and fiery and exciting. Venus and Aries. But during her transit in Aries, sometimes she can want to, like, it's fiery, passionate energy. It wants to keep moving. So it doesn't like to be stuck. So if there's any wounds around feeling stuck, they might come up too, where Venus is not able to just do whatever she wants, basically, and go after what she wants and have her desires and her passions and indulge and do whatever. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's the week. And we're building up to that Uranus, Jupiter conjunction in Taurus, which if I go for another day. Oh, wait, I missed it. Jupiter went over. I was like, hey, what's going on here? Hang on. Wow, that's exact. Okay. So the 21st of April. When's the 21st? Oh, next Sunday. Wow, so I did go over the top of it. So next Sunday. So we had that Venus. So going back a bit, go back another day, sorry. So it's next Sunday, 21st. So it's a sad day for you, possibly, depending where you are in the world. Saturday, Sunday. So next weekend, we've got that Uranus-Jupiter energy. So this is going to be very, very good couple of days. It could be very prosperous for you. Could be very lucky. You could be very abundant. There could be a lot of shocking and unexpected and exciting things happen. It could also bring a lot of discomfort and like pull the rug out from under you. That sort of energy too. Remember, like that's why it says earthquakes and shakes and stir things up. Electricity, so it can be like electrocution, electricity, anything with electricity, like things with power and electricity issues, stuff like that could come up. So I guess if you talk about it more on a world level, then it's like, yeah, I would make sure you've maybe, depending how you are, we're talking about Taurus and Taurus energy, and Tauruses are hoarders and like to be prepared and they're practical and stuff like that. So, maybe have some extra supplies and stuff like that. I don't know, because if there is any power outages or power issues and stuff like that, it's always good to be prepared. Very good with earth signs. It's very practical. Taurus is a hoarder. Taurus is a hoarding sign. So it could be, the opposite. If you've been like hoarding heaps of shit, Uranus and Jupiter come and like shake up the earth underneath you and you lose everything. You're hoarding for nothing. I don't know. Like, it's the energy so unpredictable with Uranus. That's the thing. So I can only tell you the energies and the themes and what possibilities there are. But then, it's going to be probably nothing you even thought of. Because how can something happen if you've thought of it and expected it? So it's going to be the opposite or something that you don't expect in some way. Something that's unexpected, that's shocking, that shakes and stirs things up, that's revolutionary, that's to evolve us, that's electric, that's so not getting too conspiracy like, but if you know me well, then I like to I'm a Sagittarius man, I like to try and find the truth in things anyway. But like, that strong energy for like either something big in crypto, technology, money and finances, digital finances, financial system, money system, that sort of thing. Something big with technology in some way to do with like resources. And then the other thing I was thinking was, just thinking a second ago, but my other thoughts get to me first, was electrical. So like, a big power outage or something like that, or the other thing could be like talking about frequency. Is it EMP attack, whatever. It's like electrical frequency malfunction or whatever. So it's like all Wi-Fi and stuff like that won't work, and any kind of like frequency stuff, So there could be something big with those sorts of things. like, say technology's been manipulated in a bad way, Jupiter will come in with Uranus, because it's that technology Uranus, and Jupiter will come in, and Jupiter is a malefic energy that is helping us to expand and grow and gain wisdom in some way. So it may like show us the evil side or the bad side, or something could happen to some kind of technology or some system or something, because it wants to evolve us out of that. It wants us to see that it's not good, and to see that it's not spiritual, and it's not evolving us. And so it could, like, say there was like a bad AI bot thing or something like that. It could like fuck its electric, so then it can't go on or something like that. Like, like it can't go on and do evil or bad or something like that. Like, it's just a crappy example, but yeah. I feel like there's a lot. Jeez. So this is the next week. So we're building up to this Uranus, Jupiter conjunction in Taurus, which is, like I said, we've been all waiting for this, many astrologers, for years. It's finally here. It's going to be big. The effects are going to be big after that. It's setting up, like, anytime we've got big transits happening, whatever, you have to look at, like, okay, so where were you 13 years ago? 14 years ago. So 2010, I think it was. 2011? Maybe it was 2011. Might be 2011. Let's have a quick look. So we're setting up, I was going to say, is for the next 13 years. So what happens in this conjunction is setting up the energy for the next 13 years till they come together again. So whatever happens can take 13 years to fully play out. So if we could look back, so we can look forward and see what happens over the next 13 years with those two energies individually and together. And then we can also look back over the last 13 years individually together, what happened. And also when they last came together in that sign, and that can give us more information. So 13 years ago, they would have been together in another sign. What was happening then? What was going on in the world? All that. Then we can look back at when they were in the same sign together, how long ago. So oh, what the cute. I didn't go to lunch with my family. I decided to stream instead, because I already had breakfast, big breakfast anyway. But yeah. Oh, so cute. Yeah. So if we go back, they met together in, I was going to say Aries, but no. Almost there. Jupiter was obviously in a retrograde at some point, so Uranus and Jupiter had to go back a fair bit to meet up. So there we go. So 5th of January, so around January 2011. So if you can look back January 2011, what were you doing? What was going on in your life? Where were you? 2011, those energies. So December 2, those energies, 2010, those energies would have been building up. Let's just go back, actually, because I feel like something more happened and I don't want to not be aware of it. So there's a retrograde. Okay, so look at that. So they actually came together 9th of June 2010. So I had a feeling. 9th of June 2010, they came together. So around June 2010. So May, June 2010, these two came together. So whatever was going on in your life, in the world, around then. And then over the next few months, they sort of move together close by over the next like 6 months. Days. Yeah, wow. They had 6 months from like, did I say June or July, whatever it was, until like January, where they were like traveling through the zodiac together slowly. Um, and so Jupiter would have been probably in a retrograde because it's taking so long. And well, I didn't look at them, but anyway, and yeah, so this energy in a different sign, so in Pisces, so they're not in Taurus, they're in Pisces back then, so it's more watery signs. So, was there there you go, I remembered something. Flooding. So 2010, 2011. So the energy, I think it played out a bit later, but I think it was 2011 there is the Japan tsunami. So was that Fukushima? I don't know, it must have been, right? So Pisces water, and we got earthquake, and we've got Jupiter expanding things, making things big. So a big, expansive earthquake with water, tsunami. Yeah. I don't know what else. I'm trying to think if I can remember anything else that I've heard other astrologers say or that comes to mind that happened back then. But if you want to go back then further to the last time they were in Taurus together, we're going back to then 1940. So what happened, around 1940? 1940? I can go find Jupiter and where is I'm scrolling too fast. Okay. Search. So if we look for when Jupiter and Uranus were, I think you can see this on my screen. No. I'm just searching in the software and it can tell me the last time they were conjunct. So, I want to know in refine in Taurus. Can I say in a sign? Jupiter conjunction Uranus. Transit chart. Show advance. Okay, yeah, we want in Taurus. No. In sign? No. Effect. Oh, we can add things. So we can add that. Okay, so we need to remove that. I've got an old one in there. Hang on. Delete. Find that, and then we can say in sign Taurus. So Jupiter. I'm going to say Uranus in Taurus. Add. Search. So find Jupiter conjunct Uranus and Uranus in Taurus. Yeah. Well, maybe it doesn't like the two functions like that. All right, let me just search the conjunction then. No, it's not working, my search. What the hell? What the fudge? Why is this not working now? Should advance. List of search conditions. Yeah, I should be able to put more conditions in. What's the deal? Why is nothing coming up now? Oh, this is the computer where the software does play up. I wonder if it's just playing up now. Ugh. Fun times, hey? Okay, give me a sec. So yeah, we're saying 2011, so I'm going to leave it at the 2011 at that. And then I'm going to go back to, like I said, I think it was like 1940 or something, just to show you something. But yeah, so whatever was happening in your life 13 years ago, June, July, whatever it was, 2010 to January 2011. Now I need to look back and work it out for myself too. I feel like I had a career change then. Maybe. If it's in Pisces, that's my 6th house. Work. It's not 10th house, 6th house. Work. What I do on a day-to-day basis. So, co-workers. Interesting. So 1940. Hey, what's your problem? Okay, there we go. So 19th of Jan, 1940. So I needed to go forward, not backwards. There we go. How did I do that? I don't know. Okay, so we've got 1 month forward, 1 month forward, 1 month forward. Oh, Jupiter's retrograding. There we go. Close enough. So around May 1941. So I was a bit off there. So yeah, like 1941, they were conjuncting in Taurus. So what were you doing in 1941? So what were you doing 13 years ago? And what were you doing in 1941? I mean, if you really wanted to know what you were doing in 1941, if you weren't born yet, you could look at your South Node. It's your past lives or whatever else. So yeah, look at your South Node, and your South Node will tell you what you were doing in 1941. Oh, funny. Making sure. Are they here? No. Okay. Where are they? Oh, the playroom. Cute. Okay, yeah. Oh shit, you're still there 13 years ago. Yeah. How long ago did you write that? It doesn't tell me. Sorry, I just go into my own tangent and rant and yeah. Yeah, so 13 years ago. So yeah, what were you doing in 1941? Do you remember? Do you remember your past life? But yeah, otherwise, let's just be more practical. Go back to 2010. So yeah, or 2011 it was, isn't it? 2011. So yeah, May 2011. 1941 wasn't 13 years ago. No! So 13 years ago was the last time Uranus and Jupiter were conjunct, but they were conjunct in Pisces. And then in 1941 was the last time they were conjunct in Taurus. So what they're doing now. So they're about to conjunct in Taurus again. So the last time they were conjunct in Taurus was 1941. So if we look back at 1941, what was happening in the world, then that gives us an idea of what the same transits that could be playing out. So if you know anything about 1940 in history, what was going on then, pretty sure it was World War II. So, and what a war is always about: resources, money, land. Like boundaries, land, whatever. Like and that's what Taurus is. So, yeah. And Iran attacked Israel last night. Well, there you go. I think I heard something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I don't try not to watch the news too much. But yeah, lots of crazy shit's gone down lately. But yeah, so, and that could just be even initiated from the solar eclipse in Aries too, starting, to really push that war energy now to our consciousness. All right, so let's go back to today. 24. Oh, that's not today. That's in a couple of weeks. Hard to be, sorry. So, wow, so just gotta brace myself now. This is a lot. Like, we are finally coming to that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. I've been waiting months for it. Okay, so why have I been waiting so long? It's conjunct my sun. So, and it's in the 8th house. So, investments, other people's money and resources and finances, inheritances, banks, taxes, insurances, sex, intimacy, healing, trauma, psychological stuff, secrets. That's about it. Those sorts of things. So, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I'm very interested to see what happens. So the sun is my vitality, our vitality. It's where it's my personality. It's a big part of what lights you up and makes you happy. It's where the sun is shining a light. It's putting a lot of energy and light into that area of the chart for a reason, because it wants you to focus on there and grow there. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what triggers me. The sun is me. Okay, bye. Take care. I'm not going to turn this into a political conversation about that, but it's significant to the placements. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Have a good night. Take care. Have a good sleep. 6 a.m. God damn. I can't talk. I've been bad lately with my sleeping pattern, but only because I've been sleeping around Yoda's schedule. But yeah, sleeping around a cat's schedule, which is like not normal hours for sure. But take care. I'll talk to you soon anyway. Thanks for chatting and hanging out as always. I hope that this solar eclipse treated you well, and I hope that when I talk to you next week, hopefully that Uranus and Jupiter are kind to bring you good things. Good fortune in Taurus. Fortune. And Jupiter in Taurus is good fortune. So like if you have Jupiter, and I have 2 people in my life that have Jupiter in the 2nd house. Jupiter in the 2nd house. So 2nd house is money. So like Taurus-y themes on the sense. So like finances, money, our resources, our self-worth, our confidence. It's our money, resources, finances, self-worth, our confidence, our skills and abilities, our financial security, our ability to support ourselves, our stability, those sorts of things. So what was I getting at again? I can't remember now. Yeah, so those sorts of things are, and Jupiter expands things. So Jupiter in that sign. Yeah, so I think that's The astrology over the next week. I don't think I know that. That is the astrology over the next week. Trying to think, is there anything significant, anything else significant I need to talk about? Pluto down there at 2 degrees by itself. So yeah, we have a lot of big transits this year. 2024 is a huge year for astrology for the world. So there's a lot more that's going to happen this year. September, October, November, big things. We've got Pluto down here. Pluto's going back into Capricorn in September, 2 months, and then we'll come back out in November. And that's going to just change the world. Pluto is change, it's transformation, it's well, Uranus shakes the ground under us, but Pluto like takes us into the underground, down into the underground, down into our shadows. It helps us purge things so that we can transform and whatever else. So yeah. Yeah, that Pluto is going to be make its last big mark in Capricorn before it fully leaves it for all of our lifetime. We won't see Pluto again in this lifetime in Capricorn. That's it. So that's quite intense, and it's a big thing. Definitely a big thing. So I don't know if anyone's around. If you want me to have a look at your chart, if you want me to see where any of these transits are playing out for you, let me know. Otherwise, I think that's all I really got to say about what's going on with the astrology now. So yeah, unless someone wants a reading, I'm going to I'm going to do, I don't know whether to end stream and start another stream, or just keep streaming, because I'm done with astrology unless someone wants a reading. But I was either going to play a game, or maybe I'll just actually have a rest and come back. I think I might. I'm going to log off for a bit, have a rest, maybe even have a nap, chill for a bit, and then maybe come back tonight and do some paint by numbers. I have I have these 2 that I need to do. Oh, you can't see them. Hang on. No, you can't see them. It's hilarious. Okay, let me turn off. Let me get out of this. Let me get out of this. Oh, you can sort of see now. Ah, it's blocking it now. That's hilarious. Okay. Oh, should I not? Shite. Shizen? Shizen? Is that right? I haven't actually learned that word yet in my lessons, but I've heard it before. Funny. Look, you can sort of see back here. Yeah, let me do. I know what to do. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me do this. Oh, it made me really like little, didn't it? Hang on. Yeah. There you go, you can see much better now. So I have these two paint by numbers I want to do. So there's this one which is like kind of like a looks like an it's like kind of like an Aussie outback sort of picture or something, I don't know, but like native. Yeah, like native. So there's this one. You can see the numbers. I've never done these paint by numbers. You can see all the numbers. I was like, hey, that should be easy. Apparently they're not. And then there's this parrot one. So maybe I should do the other one first and then leave this one. I really like the parrot one. I like the other one too, but I love the parrot one. So maybe I should do the other one first. So if I fuck it up, I don't fuck up. But yeah, this is the parrot one. Good looking clear. Yeah, parrot one. Very quick. So yeah, there's something that I want to do. So I might have a little break and then come back and do those. Possibly. I say that I'll come back and I do it. So but right now, if anything too, let me go back. So much prettier. I'm big. Hello. That's the birds. Yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, I think I might come back. So yeah. If anyone's going through a really crazy intense time right now, astrology, as I was about to say, it's like really good to like not push ourselves too much, although it's like all this Aries energy, we want to get everything done. Just chill, relax, listen to your body, have a rest when you need to sleep, naps. I had a bath last night, I had a bath day. Just do like things that are compassionate and loving and caring towards yourself. And don't push yourself too much. There's so much crazy energy coming and so many things that can change too. So yeah, be gentle with yourself. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, otherwise if I don't see you again or soon tonight, I mean, can I come back tonight? You'll see me again. Yeah, have a great week, and I hope Uranus Jupiter conjunction is amazing for you, and brings you lots of prosperity and abundance, or wisdom, luck, or growth, or whatever. It's basically, yeah. All right, take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.